In this video, we'll be talking about EOS CCA. Hi, I'm Consumer Protection Attorney Bill Clanton, and I've helped hundreds of consumers deal with inaccurate credit reporting, debt collection harassment, and other consumer-related matters. EOS CCA is a nationwide debt collection outfit based out of Norwell, Massachusetts. They've been in business for a long time, and it used to be called the Collections Company of America, CCA. They merged with EOS to become EOS CCA. I'll refer to them as EOS from here on out, just to make it simpler. So they are a third-party debt collector. As a third-party debt collector, they collect debts that are owed to other people, businesses really, not people. And the types of debts that they collect are consumer debts. That means debts that are incurred by people for their consumer type stuff. Household expenses, personal expenses, basically non-business expenses are what is considered a consumer debt. Let's see, EOS has a bond on file with the Texas Secretary of State for a debt collector to collect debts in the state of Texas. They need to have a bond on file, and EOS has a bond. So they're operating legally in the state of Texas. But they do break the law. According to the federal court system, they've been sued 761 times in federal court. Most of these lawsuits are for violations of the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, or FDCPA. The Fair Debt Collection Practices Act says that it's a violation of the law for companies like EOS to harass you, to abuse you, to call you repeatedly or continuously. The FDCPA says they can't call you early in the morning or late at night. They can't tell other people about your debt. They cannot call your parents or your kids or your neighbors or your coworkers and tell them that you owe money. They can't add fees. They can't make any kind of misrepresentation about the amount of the debt, which is more common than you'd think. Look at collection letters, listen to phone calls, and oftentimes they'll give you different amounts of the debt, and that's a violation of the law. Other laws that companies like EOS violate are the TCPA and the FCRA. The TCPA is the Telephone Consumer Protection Act. It says that a company like EOS, if they're using an autodialer, they cannot call your cell phone without your permission. You have to give your permission to receive calls placed by an autodialer. And if you revoke that permission, then they have to stop calling your cell phone with an autodialer. How do you revoke your permission? Well, the best way is to say, "This is my cell phone, please stop calling." And they have to stop calling. If they violate the TCPA, the penalties can be enormous, up to $1,500 per call if you can show they did it willfully. The FCRA, the Fair Credit Reporting Act, says that anybody who reports information on your credit report has to report it accurately. And if it's inaccurate and you tell them to fix it and they don't, then they can be liable for the damage that causes to your credit reputation. What does that mean? It means that if you have to pay a higher interest rate because of the information that EOS places on your credit report, then they may be liable for the higher interest rate that you have to pay. That credit costs you more money because of EOS's mistake. Approximately 13% of credit information is put on there by debt collectors, but 40% of the complaints are about debt collectors' inaccurate credit reporting. Look, these are powerful federal laws that apply to EOS. You don't have to take anything from them. But I can't help you out unless you give me a call. I want to level the playing field. I want to use these laws to level the playing field between you and EOS and every other debt collector out there. But I can't do that until you give me a call. So please call my office before they call you again. You have nothing to lose. under the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, if we're successful, then EOS will have to pay my attorney's fees. It doesn't cost you anything to get started. We have the tools and the know-how to evaluate your case and bring a case against EOS. But I can't do that until you give me a call. My number is 210-226-0800. Thanks for watching.